What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. We're taking a look at this little guy. This is the Microtech Hera. This one happens to be a signature series with a frag aluminum chassis. Yeah, let's do some specs. I want to do some specs on this one. This is a smaller OTF. I generally don't get small OTFs for some reason. Well, I don't really get a lot of small knives in general, but 3-inch blade. Overall length is about 7.5 inches, almost on the dot. So, you know, relatively small. A lot of people wouldn't consider this small. They would say this is a medium-sized knife. For me, I consider this small. I don't get a lot of small knives, especially with like OTFs. Here's a Glycon right here. Let's do a side-by-side on that. Typically with OTFs, for some reason, I like the big boys. Part of it is you can get away with a pretty large OTF generally because they have aluminum frames. They're relatively sleek and lightweight. So this one's a little heavier because it has all this titanium on there. But OTFs are very, very light. They're very carry friendly, which is interesting because they're still illegal in a lot of states. That's starting to change. But yeah, these are great carry knives. And this is no exception, except for, well, there is one exception, I guess. And that is the pocket clip's pretty dang big. But let's get a weight on here. 3.2, 3.1 ounces. Let me move this handkerchief. I don't know if this is giving me an accurate 3.2. Yeah, 3.2 ounces. So under 4 ounces. Very, very impressive for a knife, even a smaller-ish knife like this. So what are we looking at? Pretty standard stuff. So this is the Hera. This was made in October of 2022. So exactly 1 year ago from shooting this video. Serial number 306. This has a milled titanium pocket clip, which is interesting for Microtech. They're starting to get into this. Thank goodness. I'm about sick of those bent, cheap titanium clips they've been doing. So that's cool. It has a big ball in there. Very oversized clip. That may be positive or maybe a negative to you. Kind of depends on what you're into and how you like to carry. Functions very, very well. 6061 chassis with the frag pattern. And I believe that's all you're getting on this signature version is just the frag. Nothing else is special about it. Standard hardware, standard button right there. M390 steel. I don't believe it's marked, which is interesting. Microtech usually billboards their blades and with their logo and their, so that may be actually, that's probably the other thing with the signature. Because one thing they do a lot with the signature series is they modify the branding. They either do clean versions like this, or maybe they just have the chicken foot logo or something. This one is a completely sterile blade. So I'm sure that has to do with the fact that it's the signature line, which is kind of cool. I don't mind some of the branding, depending. This one on the Glycon's not too bad, especially with the acid etched finish on there. You can kind of just see that circle logo in there. That's about it. This one actually does say, I was going to say this doesn't have the steel, but it does have the steel right there, very small. I don't know if you can see that. This one is completely sterile, which is cool. I don't like how thin that blade stock is, though. It just, I don't know. Just kind of bugs me. I wish it was thicker stock, not for any practical reason. I mean, being thinner means this is going to be a better cutter, better slicer. It just seems, I don't know. There's something, I'll be honest, that feels a little cheap about this one. Maybe it's how lightweight it is, how small that blade is. Something seems just a little cheap, even though it fires super fast, super well. It's really easy to deploy. I mean, it's a very usable, carryable, friendly little knife. Fits well in the hand. Ergonomics are great. This one with the single edge drop point, got a little bit of jimping on the back there, so you can put your thumb on there. So this is a very good utilitarian OTF to kind of carry around in size and function. In fact, that's what I should be doing with this. Is I should be carrying this guy because it's a dream to carry. But there is just something that doesn't quite hit with me on this. Now, luckily, I got this for a killer price. This, the Heras on the secondary market, you can get a screaming deal on these. They don't hold their value very well. In fact, a lot of Microtechs, except for the ones that are super hyped up at any given time. A lot of the Microtechs, you can get them for a lot lower on the secondary market. This one's no exception. In fact, this one you can get even a better deal. So I got this for like $2.95 or something. Without much effort, I probably could have got a little lower if I wanted to really dig into the guy, but I think these went for like $5.50 or something new because of the signature line. So really good deal. And of course, brand new in box, not been carried. There's no marks on this thing. There's no snail trails on this thing. Never been cut with. It is brand freaking new. The Heras have I've had interest in them, but because of their size, I just never really got one. But the frag pattern and the price on this, I was like, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. Now, they're doing a Hera 2, which looks very, very cool. It has a different designed pocket clip, and it is full size. You know, Microtech loves to do their large knives across the board. So it is a full, like, Lycon-ish, Combat Troodon-ish size. It's kind of funny. Microtech kind of just keeps doing the same type-ish knife, just slightly different. And the new Hera will be very, very similar. But I think what I heard, right, marketing, whatever, I don't know how true it is, but I heard on the Hera 2 that the action has been redesigned and it's super, super smooth. I don't know. I don't know if they've actually, I find it hard to believe they've changed the mechanism inside. My guess is that maybe they're doing like the ceramic balls under the switch like Guardian Tactical or Heretic Knives does. Maybe they're borrowing that. Heretic Knives is owned by his son, and so they've been doing quite a bit of swapping of features and materials and things like that between the two lines, and I could see that maybe Microtech is going to include kind of that ball-bearing roller thing. It does affect the action a little bit. It's not anything too crazy. It also tightens up the button a little bit, so you're less likely to get like rattling. This one doesn't really have a lot of rattle when it's closed. It has a little bit when it's opened, but it does kind of make it a little bit smoother. So I don't know. We'll see. That's just conjecture on my point, but it'll be pretty cool. I would like to maybe pick one up if they're reasonable. Well, I'll probably get one eventually, but depending on how in demand they are will affect how quickly I do that. I don't know when they're going to hit. They just came out with the custom, and so it'll be a little while before they do the production, I would think, but you never know. What do you guys think? Is this a cool one? Would you ever get the Hera? Seems to be kind of a love it or hate it type thing. Most people don't seem to care for it too much, but I have heard a couple people say that this is the only Microtech they like. Oh, the other thing that the pro Hera people like is the lack of a glass breaker on the back. Same with the Glycon, right? So the glass breaker is, a lot of people don't like it. They think it's cheesy and stupid, and they also just don't like having the pointy things sticking up at the top. So one of the things that the people that do like this model really talk about is the lack of the glass breaker. So if that's something that you have not liked about like the Combat Troodon and some of the others, this is something you might want to look into, because it's a cool little knife. Man, this thing is lightweight. Really just feels like nothing. It's pretty crazy. I would guess that this milling pattern actually reduces the weight even more because you're removing all this material on both sides. Pretty cool little knife from Microtech, the Hera. Nice little carryable OTF. All right, guys, let me know down below what do you think. I'll talk to you later. I'm out.